YouTube on the internet. Who's the snarkiest critic of them all? But, Spoonie, fuck you, internet! Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this week's review on the Three Marlets channel, Snow White and the Huntsman. Rated PG-13 and starring Christine Stewart of Twilight fame, along with Charlize Theron and Chris Hemsworth. This is a surprisingly good movie. Go see it. This is certainly on the recommend list, and really surprising because this is one of those movies that I was not looking forward to this year. I was just kind of seeing it. One, because this is actually one of the few movies where the trailers really convinced me to go see it, and there wasn't anything else out this week. But it surprised me. This was not on my radar because up until a while ago, all I knew about this was it's a Snow White adaptation starring Kristen Stewart. Kristen Stewart. I forget how you pronounce her name. Which to me at first just reeked, Twilight cash-in. A really rushed production that they were trying to put in right in the same summer that Twilight gets in to try to get the other group, the Twilight fan base, which means it's just going to be quick slap together. They got a first-time director in Rupert Sanders, this is his first production, at least as a actual director. At least according to IMDb, he might have done some small stuff here and there, smaller production roles or something, but he surprised me in this. The trailers actually, what really sold me to make me want to see this was actually Charlize Theron. When you saw she was cast as the evil queen, and in the trailers, she looked fucking evil as hell. I was like, I'm seeing this. It looks like it actually has some action. It looks dark. It looks moody. It's got Charlize Theron looking crazy, and that's one of those things with her. And this kind of goes all around, that they cast not only did they have a great cast, they put those people in the right roles. They cast it well in both respects, in that they got great actors, and they put those great actors in roles that they're really great in. You know, one of the things when I criticized Salt was it was a role written for Tom Cruise, who does that kind of his own unique kind of crazy, on edge, but in a funny sort of way. They had that, and then they could put Angelina Jolie in there. Angelina Jolie doesn't have that type of. This is not her. She doesn't have that type of charisma. She has a different type of charisma. Here, it works. Charlize Theron always has that, like, you think she's a serial killer. Like, you kind of get the sense from her, like, at any moment, she might snap and stab you. Like, she's all fucked up in the head, she's all fucked up. Charlize Theron's really good at that. You can't just put any actor to do that. The thing is the eyes. She gets her eyes to look vicious, which is why I also am going to love her in Prometheus, because they have her as a kind of a character that you're really unsure of how she functions. Other than that, let's see here. So they had a really well cast, and that kind of maybe the trailer showing her in that role, as well as the overall mood, really made me go, this might be good. And even I must admit, I haven't really seen Kristen Stewart in any other movie that I can really think of, or name off the top of my head, outside of Twilight. She was in The Runaways. I haven't seen The Runaways. Haven't seen Adventureland. I avoided Jumper because I thought it looked crappy. I think I heard she was in Safe Room or Panic Room, but that was a while ago, and that was her as a child actor at the time. So I gotta say, she's impressed me. No longer have it as an immediate negative reaction. She did really well in this, and even so well, she's a much better actor than a lot of the leading ladies we have in Hollywood. It's there's something toxic then about the Twilight saga, because she pulls off charisma in this movie, and even when she's dead, she still has more color than Bella Swan. Uh, she does a really good job. Actually, one of the things I kind of noted, I criticized, what's her name? Keira Knightley. She does this horrible speech in the third Pirates of the Caribbean movie where she's supposed to rally the pirates, and you're just like, that's supposed to rally an army? It was hardly given. Christine Stewart actually gives the speech, literally rallying an army to overthrow the Queen, and she does a damn good job at it. She doesn't. The speech plays to her strengths that she can pull off. She doesn't give up a try. She doesn't go for the hoorah, oh yeah, we're hard speech. No, the speech is written to play to her strengths as an actress, and it works. Kudos. On top of that, they have really well casting with the dwarves. I mean, let's just name. We got Nick Frost, Ian McShane, Bob Hoskins, Eddie Marsan, who I loved from Sherlock Holmes. Toby Jones is in there too as one of them. Really, really damn good cast of support characters. I mean, these are guys that are normally in much bigger roles in a film, and here they are as support characters. It's a really great ensemble cast. Chris Hemsworth certainly is still a little bit in Thor mode on this one, but that's exactly what you want. He's kind of a Thor, but put more on edge. He gets drawn into this thing because at first the Queen promises he's going to bring back his dead wife, and he kind of is already half expecting that they're not being honest with him. And he finds out there is a brother. The Queen has a brother in this one, and I like to call him Mr. gives away bad details when he doesn't have the advantage. He's constantly doing this. He's constantly telling the whole reason Snow White escapes is he kind of goes and he goes, the Queen wants you. And before he's like secured her, he doesn't have any guards. He's just in there by himself with her. She goes, why? Because she's going to tear out your heart. So Christine Stewart stabs him with a fucking nail. And he does this several other times. He even tells the Huntsman, while the Huntsman still has Snow White at axe point, keeping them away from him, kind of trying to get an insurance that, hey, you are gonna bring back my wife. He so goes, fool, even my sister cannot bring back the dead. Before his men have a chance to secure the area, he decides to let that slip. Bad. But it's so consistent with his character, you can put it as his character flaw. Oh, I almost forgot to mention, Ray Winstone is one of the dwarfs too. Seriously, how did they pull this off? Getting that type of cast as support actors. What else shall I say on this? Visually, a very dark film. They go for the whole, when the wrong person who is on the throne, when the throne is inhabited by an illegitimate king, all of nature crumbles. This goes back to an old medieval, basically kings used to rule based on divine right. The ideal that the natural order of the world dictated that the king should be ruling. And therefore, often a related theme to that was when you would write about somebody who's on the throne who's not supposed to be on the throne, it's almost as if God himself is punishing the kingdom. Like, no, this is the wrong person. You have to get him off the throne. He does not have my blessing. So God takes his blessing away from the land. And, also, of course, subsequently justifying why you have a king. But I like bringing that out in this world because it makes a very dark, brooding place to be in. But at the same time, well, actually mainly because of that, because it adds great sense to the whole atmosphere of the film. And speaking of atmosphere and kind of subtle themes, well, more subtle themes, a lot of people are saying this is like a feminist film because it's all about, you know, you got Snow White taking command, and like, no, actually, anyone who's saying that is really, you can call them an idiot who cannot apparently read very obvious subtext. This is really an anti-feminist film in that it's really anti those people, what we would call feminazis, the militant lesbian feminists movement. Kind of like from the late 70s that have become kind of like the stereotypical ones, because the Queen kind of fits that role. She basically hates men and they actually do a good job of explaining why the Queen is the way she is, to the point where you actually sympathize with her. Quite a deal. It's heavily implied that she was sexually abused. She was taken by a king. Her mother basically realized that another king's army is coming and raiding the town for women, and so she gives her daughter a curse to try to give her power and protect her. And of course, it's implied after the king comes and takes her that he abused her sexually. And the curse, of course, as long as she remains young, she has this great power, but she has to remain young and be the fairest of them all. So, hey, it's surprisingly done. They also give her a brother, who's the only male that she trusts. And there's really there's a lot of implied lesbianism in this movie. Not out and out, like, showing her, like, making out with women, but it's, like, implied that she might even have a thing for Snow White. She does enjoy taking her clothes off in this movie quite a bit. Unfortunately, it is PG-13, so, if you were hoping for that, sorry, you have to go back and watch The Devil's Advocate. But yeah, no, it works really good with giving her backstory, and of course, her brother, how she's the only person that she treats as, like, alright, and that's only because he's her brother. Every other male, she kind of starts going how, as soon as I'm no longer, beautiful, they'll throw me away, all that type of deal. Really you can kind of see, really messed up due to, probably some sexual abuse early on. They don't go, and again, this is a film that at least can actually pull off showing, but not explicitly showing, but giving us enough details that we all get it. We're all on the same page. Which actually fits surprisingly well with what the original fairy tale is supposed to be. The Brothers Grimm wrote these tales not to talk to, how we normally use fairy tales, 5, 6-year-olds. They're supposed to be talking to teenagers about sex. If you look at the Brothers Grimm's work, it's all euphemisms for sex, and this is how medieval Germany would try to teach. This was, their sexual education, actually. That's what fairy tales were. So it's incredibly, if it's dark and there's all these sexual subtexts, anybody that complains, point that out immediately. Like, you realize that's what Snow White is all about. Vanity, and all these sexual subtexts. That's the whole point. That was why the legend was told. So it works quite well. Highly recommend the film. I could waste more time, but I'm trying to cut down the length of these reviews. So go out and see it. I could talk way more about this. There's a lot of great scenes, but why ruin a good film? Go see this. Go now. Why are you still listening? Go away. Oh, there is one reason this is listening. Quick site update. Expect a little of a delay with the ongoing Legend of Korra reviews, because I will, once again, life interferes. I have plans on Saturday that can't be avoided. I've got to take a civil service test, and it's only being offered this weekend for this particular position. So I gotta go and take it, and it's going to be during that time. It's during Showtime. I'll probably catch it online at some point when I can find the episode it's up. As soon as I catch it online, I will of course post it. Other than that, stay tuned for another Charlize Theron movie next week. As we finally check out Prometheus, I'll be going to the midnight premiere for that one, no doubt. That's the movie I've been waiting for all summer. I'm a huge Aliens fan, so I'm psyched for this. So stay tuned next week. That one might go a little long. I might do a quick next week. I might do a quick like review, another 10-minute review, and then go into a Prometheus discussion that's much longer. That might be how the new format works. I'll try it with Prometheus. So signing off.